Hello and welcome to the second episode of TV shows through time. Today I'm going to be talking about a show called Beauty and the Beast. Now, this is not the Beauty and the Beast that you guys know from old times in Disney Classics, the 2017 Disney Classic, and the old one. I don't remember when it came out. This Beauty and the Beast is so hardcore and edgy and romantic and dramatic. At least that's what they try and do. You know, I sat down, and within literally the first 33 seconds, a jump scare happened. And I'm going to be only analyzing episode 1 today. I'm going to be going through each episode of the entire 4 seasons. And I would say my general impressions of this show is that it's very lackluster. Overall, it seems like a really, really bland and boring and cliched cop show mixed with a tiny bit of really, really boring supernatural things. So let's talk about the Beast for a second. The Beast is pretty bland, and he kind of looks exactly like Sam Winchester from Supernatural. If you put them next to each other, there was a moment in the show where it was dark, and I was looking there, and I was saying to myself, wow, that looks exactly like Sam. That might be him. And it wasn't. It wasn't, to my surprise. And you know what? It's just, gosh, I know that the CW doesn't have a really big budget, but the makeup when he turns into the Beast is absolutely horrendous. Oh, by the way, major spoilers for the first episode. This entire series is going to have spoilers all the time. So if you really care about Beauty and the Beast, it finished in 2016, so I don't know why you would care. Or if you really want to watch it and you haven't yet, just go watch it, I guess. I don't know why you'd want to watch it. It's really boring. It's got the typical cop cliches. The officers, the normal officers in blue, they're morons. In the opening scene, in one of the opening scenes, it's in the future, and the main character, she makes the cops look like morons because she asks the cop, she's like, oh, can we get the camera footage, please? It was a murder. A murder took place. Why would the cops not already have looked at the surveillance footage? I mean, these TV shows make cops look like morons. And on top of the normal cops looking like morons, the detective, the main character, says some of the most duh dialogue on the entire planet. So they're investigating. Let me set the scene here. So the main character, who's a detective, and her detective friends, and yada yada, this typical SVU, Law and Order thing. They're even called the SCU. They're practically like exact copy. The main character even wears the same outfit, and she's talking to them, and they're investigating a suspect, and the suspect, his name is like Ralph McGrady or something, like let's just say a random name, Ralph McGrady, okay, for example, and he's got MD next to his name, obviously, which means he's a doctor, obviously, and it's like the most obvious thing on the entire planet. And the detective, who, I don't know how she's a detective, she's so simple-minded, she's like, oh, he's a doctor. She literally says out loud, she's like, it says MD next to his name. He's a doctor. I just wanted to smack myself right at that moment. I was like, really? He's a doctor, and he's got an MD after it. Wow, who would have thought? She's a detective. They're never going to solve the murder with her on the case. And there's just times like that where she just says the most mind-bogglingly dumb things. Let me see. Let me look through. Let me look. Okay. So the cops, let's talk about the cops a little bit more. The cops also, the detectives specifically, operate with no clear, like, actual rules. They don't follow the rules one bit. They go into somebody's house. They don't have a warrant. They steal things. The cop, literally the main character, her name is Chandler, Detective Chandler. She takes a receipt of some kind from this fashion agency that the suspect was working at. How can you take it? I mean, it wasn't given to her. Literally, the person who the receipt belonged to, she walked away, and then the detective took the thing. Here, let me show you. All right, so this isn't the scene where. Here, wait a sec. Let me just fast forward a bit. So this is at the beginning of the episode, and the girl works at a bar, and she is approached by these men, and I wrote down in my notes stormtrooper aim. Just watch the aim here. Look at that. They take at least like 6 shots, only like one of them hits, and then this guy, she's on the ground and he hits the car. Okay. That just blows my mind. Let me show you another clip, okay? Actually, you know what? No. And there's another point within that sequence where where these men, the men that shot at them, they literally, they go and chase after the main character, and then the main character falls, and then they catch up to her, and they could have shot at her at least 3 times, but of course, they wait. And then who is there? But obviously it's revealed to be the Beast. It's so obvious it's the Beast. Some, guy shows up in the middle of the woods where she's being chased and kills the 2 men. And then he looks at her, and the effects are terrible. The editing is terrible. It's so dark in the scene that it could be Teen Wolf. It could be the character from Teen Wolf, the main character from Teen Wolf, because it's so dark. I can't believe I'm referencing Teen Wolf, but I mean, it's just ridiculous. And in general, all the fights are terrible. There's another scene where the main character, Chandler, let's just call her C. C is approached on the subway. She's going to these FBI agents she thinks are FBI agents, and they turn out not to be. I don't know who hired them. They don't explain it. But they try and attack her, and she ends up getting, like, thrown on train tracks. And before she's thrown on the train tracks, the editing is so fast that you can't tell what's going on. And there are literally 2 big, tough guys. Like, they're not, the strongest guys in the world, but they're there with her, and she's beating the crap out of them. And these are trained people, it seems like. And I'm just baffled about, what the heck is going on in this fight scene, because you can't tell at all. And then this woman with earbuds is just standing nearby, and she's just watching. And then it turns out that she is part of it too. Oh my goodness, there's so many strange things to cover in this episode. Okay, this is definitely gonna have 3 parts for this episode, most likely. And I'll try and make each one 10 minutes, just to, try and keep it, low level. And I also wrote down in the beginning when the girl is running, when C is running in the woods, of course, the trope, she falls right when, she needs her leg the most. She falls. I don't get why always in movies, the people, they always lose the ability to run well. I don't know why they do that. I mean, it's just, you're running, it's really not that hard. You're just running. It doesn't take much thought. It doesn't take much effort. And she falls. And let's see. Okay. And yeah, I wrote down that the police officers, everything about this show, I already said that it reeks of just a crappy cop ripoff. And literally down to a T. The main character from SVU, the woman, her outfit, the leather jacket, and the blue shirt and the blue